I'm glad to have this chance to congratulate you, the members of the Clinton School of Public Service Class of 2015, on this very important day in your lives and in your careers as public servants. When you entered the program, you each came with a unique set of experiences, ideas, and goals. You brought your diverse backgrounds from across the country and around the world to Little Rock because you shared a unifying trait, a passion for helping others. Throughout the course of your studies at the Clinton School, you've traveled to 19 countries on 5 continents to complete international projects. You've also made an important impact in Arkansas through your small group projects. Our talented faculty members helped you build a bridge between the theoretical in the classroom and the practical real-world application of those ideas. It's these lessons, experiences in the field, and that one unifying trait that will continue to make a positive impact in the next phase of your careers. You will be able to answer the how question in a unique, passionate, effective way. Thanks so much for your hard work, dedication, and service for the last 2 years, and good luck in the future. Congratulations.
On behalf of our students, faculty, staff, alumni, and visitors, welcome to the Clinton School graduation being held for the first time in the Ron Robinson Theater. We are so fortunate to have this fine facility downtown and in the same building as our Student Center and our distance learning classroom. For the mothers and grandmothers here today, happy Mother's Day tomorrow. And may I ask you, with the exception of those who are tweeting the ceremony, to please silence your cell phones. For those who are tweeting, as you can see, the hashtag is UACS 2015, and I encourage you to tweet away. Two very special people will be introduced in a moment to deliver the Clinton School's first ever joint commencement address. I want to welcome my longtime friends Donna and Mack McLarty. I thank them not only for their friendship, but for many good times together and for their support of the Clinton School and the McLarty Global Fellows Program. As you can see on your program, McLarty Global Fellow and Clinton School graduate Mary Amico will be introducing them. I want to express my appreciation to those who brought items and made donations to the Children's Library. This special place opened under the direction of Clinton School faculty member Don Ernst and with the support of Clinton School student, now graduate Emily Fisher. In 2010, at the suggestion of then student, now alumnus Nicholas Hall, we began collecting items for a local organization and included giving as part of our graduation. The crayons, the sidewalk chalk, the glue sticks, and the monetary contributions that you have provided will support many disadvantaged children, and we thank you. The class of 2015 has distinguished itself with the guidance of a very talented faculty, a dedicated staff, and generous volunteers. I want to personally thank Dean Susan Hoffpower for her leadership and her friendship. It is a sincere pleasure to work alongside her. Members of this class have served all over the state, the nation, and the world. You developed programs for teachers in rural Uganda. You raised the awareness of climate change in Indonesia. You promoted education initiatives in Belize. You explored the feasibility of a nonprofit law firm. You developed an asset map for Arkansas Children's Hospital. You created a communications plan for the 12th Street Health and Wellness Center. You worked with Vital Voices, the City of Little Rock, Habitat for Humanity, Heifer International, Costatot Community College, the International Rescue Committee, Peace Work, Kiva, and many, many more. You helped at-risk populations in Puerto Rico. You analyzed legal advocacy issues in Kenya. You studied food systems needs in Northeast Arkansas. You planned music initiatives with the South African Youth Orchestra. You attended the Clinton Global Initiative. You elevated the issue of college student hunger and much, much more. Together, we celebrated the 10th anniversary of the Clinton Library and Clinton School. We welcomed Presidents Bill Clinton and Frank Underwood. We hosted the Gulf South Summit, international colleagues from Albania and Turkey, and continued the Center on Community Philanthropy's outstanding scholar series. We had the opportunity to meet and interact with over 200 visiting speakers, some of whom are listed on your program. And our 10-year review for the Department of Higher Education could not have been better. We always try to do something unique at graduation. Last year we had the first ever liberating structure at commencement. And I might add that Mara just participated in the inaugural liberating structure at the White House. This year, in addition to having our first joint commencement address, we invite you to join us in the lobby after the ceremony for some IBSB and Capstone Crunch ice cream, the first ever Clinton School flavors. These are from Loblolly. And for those who have not had Loblolly ice cream, you are in for a local, tasty treat. Also, every year, well, you can have two. Also, every year, the Arkansas Repertory Theater honors our graduates by hosting them at a play. This year, we enjoyed the production of Mary Poppins. At the end of the play, the character Bert says, "Goodbye, Mary Poppins. Don't you stay away too long." Paraphrasing that, and with my sincere best wishes for your future happiness, goodbye, class of 2015, and don't you stay away too long either. Thank you, and thanks for coming our way.
Good afternoon. It is so wonderful to be back in Little Rock and to be here to celebrate the graduation of such a thoughtful, bright, and fun group of people. Congratulations, Class 9. It's my honor and my pleasure to introduce to you this year's commencement speakers, Donna and Mack McLarty. As proud alumni of the University of Arkansas and strong champions for international education, the McLartys have established the McLarty Global Fellowship, which makes it possible for students from the Clinton School, the Fulbright College, and the Walton School to engage with the important work of Vital Voices Global Partnership to invest in emerging women leaders at home and abroad. Two of today's graduates, Anna Applebaum and Searing Udon, completed their capstone projects as McLarty Global Fellows with Vital Voices. And I've come to know the McLartys over the past year as serving as a McLarty Global Fellow with the Georgetown Institute for Women, Peace, and Security. The establishment of this fellowship program is a clear testament to Donna and Mack's unwavering commitment to public service and to building bridges between the Clinton School and the global community. Donna McLarty is an innovator in efforts to support women, children, and families, and she is a longtime advocate for the arts. An honors business graduate from the University of Arkansas, she credits the U of A with giving her the training that has strengthened her nonprofit leadership. Donna served as the community vice president of the Little Rock Junior League, and she helped found the Parent Center and the Centers for Youth and Families. She also co-chaired the Arkansas Commission for Juvenile Justice and served as a board member of the Arkansas Art Center and the Arts and Education Program. In Washington, D.C., Donna helped co-found and serve as co-chair of the Vital Voices Global Partnership Board. She continues to advise the organization as a member of the executive committee and as emeritus vice chair. Donna serves on the board of numerous organizations working to promote the arts and the rights of women around the world. She is an exceptionally warm and kind woman, and her efforts are felt by women and families across the globe. Mack McLarty has a record of success in the public and private sector. A proud son of Hope, Arkansas, he attended Hope High School and still has a family home there. He graduated with honors from the Business School of the U of A, where he served as the president of the student body. Mack was elected to the Arkansas State Legislature at the age of 23. He then joined his father in the transportation business founded by his grandfather in the 1920s. Mack served as a decade as CEO of Arkla Inc., a Fortune 500 natural gas company. During those years, he was appointed by the first President Bush to the National Petroleum Council and the Council on Environmental Quality, and served on the St. Louis Federal Reserve Board. He also served as chair of the Little Rock Chamber of Commerce, receiving the Chamber's Pinnacle Award a decade later. In the Clinton administration, Mack served more than 5 years on the President's cabinet as Chief of Staff, Counselor, and Special Envoy for the Americas. In recognition of his work, he was awarded the Secretary of State's Distinguished Service Medal and the highest civilian honors of 7 Latin American countries. After leaving government, Mack established a strategic advisory firm in partnership with Henry Kissinger. He continues to travel Pan-American and international highways as president of McLarty Associates, while also serving as chairman of the McLarty Companies and on a variety of corporate and nonprofit boards. Donna and Mack are clearly very accomplished, but they are so much more than their achievements. They share an unwavering commitment to public service and a kindness and warmth that is refreshing in Washington. They also share a real desire to create rich educational experiences for the students here. I have learned a great deal about public service from the McLartys, and we're all in for a very special treat as we hear some words of wisdom from them today. Please join me in giving a warm welcome to Donna and Mack McLarty.
Thank you, Mara, for your warm and personal welcome. It means a lot to Mack and me to be introduced by you today. Mara is, as she said, one of our McLarty Global Fellows, and she spent her fellowship at the Women's Institute at Georgetown University. What she didn't say is that she created their entire communication system from scratch. So she makes us proud, and she has certainly been a first-rate ambassador for the Clinton School. And Dean Rutherford. Mack and I are pleased and honored to be on your extended campus today for this important celebration. We are truly grateful for your inspired leadership, and we know firsthand that you provide an example of public service through your own life every day. Thank you. So, Dean Rutherford, faculty, families, and friends, thank each of you for the support and love you've given these graduates. And to the class of 2015, also known as class number 9. Yes? Congratulations for this momentous achievement. Congratulations. You did it. You made it. And soon you'll have your diplomas in hand to prove it.
Good afternoon. Let me offer my personal and heartfelt congratulations to each and every graduate and to your families as well. Indeed, this is Donna's and my first joint commencement, but it seems appropriate to do it at the Clinton School. After all, this is a community known for liberating structures, so we're happy to try to get with the program. It's always a privilege to speak at the University of Arkansas. As Mara kindly noted, we're proud alumni of the Business College there, and in fact, it's where we met our freshman year. And I certainly don't mean to be boastful, but I did proudly graduate with honors, finishing 3rd in my class. Of course, Donna finished 2nd in the same class. And as I recall it, it was the only source of tension in our courtship. Until we had to decide who would speak first today. So as you can see, Donna is still one step ahead, and I'm still acknowledging it. With that said, it is a special privilege for us to be at the Clinton School of Public Service. We were fortunate, very fortunate, to have the opportunity to be here at the creation, so to speak, just over a decade ago. And we couldn't be prouder about how far the school has come in such a short time. Dean Rutherford, or Skip, as you'll always be to me, it's a real compliment, testimony to you and your colleagues of what you've done and what you've accomplished, and the best is yet ahead. And there's no better evidence of that progress than all of you. With backgrounds in economics and English and Spanish and environmental studies, social work, political science, psychology and anthropology, and even Scandinavian studies. And that's just a partial list. And yet, for all of your passions and your proficiencies, you are a remarkably cohesive group. And Dean Rutherford tells us that you not only work well together, but that you genuinely like each other too. You've earned the reputation for being supportive and enthusiastic. And I'm told you like to clap a lot. I was hoping that was an applause line, which is reassuring to Donna and me. Now, you've also been described as adventurous, inquisitive, and always ready to offer a hand to someone in need. You're the kind of people who roll up your sleeves and really engage on an issue, in a community, or for a cause. And while today you are receiving your master's degrees, what you really learned here is how to be servants. Servants to your community, to our country, and to the world. From capstone projects to office hours, in the classroom and in the field, you have become scholars. Scholars versed in the real world of academics. And while many of your classes may have been at Sturgis, most of the lessons that you have learned have come from elsewhere, in rural communities, in city halls, in hospitals and food banks, in schools and orphanages, and nonprofit organizations that are committed to helping others help themselves. You've certainly been much more than interns. You've been advisors and consultants and researchers. And you have focused not just on process, but more importantly, on practice. And you've learned not just a skill set, but a mindset. So all of you have a lot to celebrate today. But you know, graduation is also naturally time to think about what comes next. And I'm sure you've been wondering how you'll apply what you've learned and what form your public service might take. Where will you make your lives and your livelihoods? And some of your families may be wondering that too. Well, here's an answer for you. I don't know, but if you don't know, you shouldn't worry about it. Because in Donna's and my experience, there is no single path to public service. And there is certainly no Google map for life. So what we like to do from our perspective at the podium is to offer 3 bits of advice. Things we've learned in our own unfolding journey that we hope might help guide you on yours.
First of all, Mack and I think you will find opportunity in unexpected places. Let me start with a story. In 1998, I traveled to Montevideo, Uruguay, with then First Lady Hillary Clinton. We were there for a groundbreaking conference on women, and hundreds took part. Entrepreneurs, local politicians, NGO leaders from all across Latin America. These women shared their stories of working against incredibly difficult odds to build better lives for themselves, for their families, and their communities. But at the end of the conference, they all wanted more. More information, more collaboration, more solidarity. So at the Montevideo airport, we resolved to create a nonprofit organization to support them, to in fact give them more. It's now 17 years later. You might call it the longest capstone ever. But the results have been tremendous. The Vital Voices Global Partnership is a global brand. We've trained and mentored women in 150 countries, women who've gone on to share their lessons with 500,000 more. We have vibrant partnerships with corporations and leading academic institutions like this one, where our family is proud to have a fellowship with the Clinton School. Today we want to recognize 2 graduates for all their wonderful work with Vital Voices. They were our inaugural fellows, and they have set a very high standard to follow. Anna Applebaum, will you please stand? And Sharon Udine. Thank you both for the significant contributions you have made in the empowerment of women globally. Because of you, Vital Voices has a very high opinion of the Clinton School. And it was a great pleasure for Mack and for me to have the two of you in Washington this year. And in fact, we have a visitor with us today from Vital Voices. Marguerite Berger mentored Anna and Sharon during their fellowship year. As Vice President for Impact Evaluation, Meg is committed to the enrichment of the relationship between Vital Voices and the Clinton School. Meg is seated over here, and Mack and I remain very grateful for the connection you helped foster, Meg. We welcome you to opening session. It's incredibly gratifying to see the bridges we've been able to build through Vital Voices, connecting women to each other, connecting ideas to action, and connecting Arkansas to Washington and the world. And my message to you is that opportunities like this will arise in your own lives as well, often in the most unexpected places and at unexpected moments. You can't always plan or map the way you're going to make a difference. What matters is that you're ready to raise your hand when the chance to make a difference chooses you. When the chance chooses you.
Donna's right, of course, as usual. The opportunities to serve really don't turn out the way we sometimes expect. In my case, I thought it was likely that I would enter into politics. That's what I did right after college. I was elected to the House of Representatives at the age of 23. I still consider it a privilege to have served my home county. I was kind of the Doogie Howser of the Arkansas House, if you will, working with Dale Bumpers. But then life took a different turn. We had our first child, Mark, who is here today, and I joined my father in our now fourth generation family transportation business. And then life took a different turn. I had an opportunity to be chief executive of a New York Stock Exchange company in the energy business. And then life took another unexpected turn. I had an opportunity to join a lifelong friend and governor of our home state in the White House, and the privilege to serve with him and serve the people of our country. So it's been a varied career. But there is one feature that I have seen across every experience that I've had, and that's the enduring importance of relationships, the power of a personal connection. From politics to advocacy, from business to diplomacy, it's those respectful relationships and personal trust that at the end of the day really matter the most. Being considerate, dependable, compassionate are a signal to others that I really hear you. I really see you. Let me give you an example. Back in 1994, we were getting ready for the first Summit of the Americas in Miami. It's a meeting of all of the Latin American heads of state. One of my assignments was to travel to Brazil to try to persuade the then president of Brazil, Itamar Franco, to ask his successor, President Cardoso, who was elected but not sworn in, to join him at the summit. President Franco was known as a complicated and difficult man. And no leader really wants to bring his successor, particularly when they're of a different party and a very different personality. As our granddaughter Brianna might say, my meeting was set up to be awkward. I did my homework to try to get ready for the meeting, and I noticed that President Franco had been educated in a Methodist-supported school in Belo Horizonte, Brazil. And this had clearly had a positive and supportive impact on his life. And our son, Mark, had traveled to Brazil after graduating from Little Rock Central before he entered Georgetown to work in President Franco's hometown of Belo Horizonte in the favelas. Might have a common bridge here. So I traveled to Brasilia, President Bronco and I sat down. We both had our talking points. The meeting was civil but stiff. But then I raised about his childhood and his education. He put down his notes. He started to tell me stories about how much it had meant to him. And then he started to ask about Mark's experiences in his home country, in his hometown. So we established a common ground, if you will, not just as diplomats, but as human beings. So then I asked him about allowing President Cardoso or President-elect Cardoso to join him. He thought for a moment, paused, and said, okay, I'll do it. It's the right thing to do for our country. I thought the foreign minister of Brazil was going to fall off of his chair when he said this. But we had connected, again, not as government officials, but as human beings. Now, that story has a happy ending. But I must tell you that personal approaches can also make your life a bit more complicated. Early in the Clinton administration, we had just passed our economic plan, and Bob Rubin and I were traveling to Arkansas to help explain it and sell it. And Bob turned to me and said, Mack, you look particularly anxious today going to your home state. I said, I am. He said, well, why is that? We have given a tax cut through the Earned Income Tax Credit to 289,000 Arkansans, and we've only raised taxes of 5,902 citizens of your home state. And I said, yes, Bob, I'm well aware of that. And 5,887 of those Arkansans used to be my good friends before we passed our plan. So connections can go both ways. But the fact is, when you take time to get to know people, to really listen, to understand them, to build a kind of rapport and relationship, it opens your mind and your heart. And it makes consensus and common ground so much easier to find. And even if you can't reach agreement, you at least have established a relationship, built a bridge rather than burned one for future relations. That's what you've learned at the Clinton School. You've learned what President Clinton put so well, that everyone has a story. Dreams and nightmares, hopes and heartaches, love and loss, courage and fear, and sacrifice and selfishness. And it's when we're helping others to have better stories that the best chapters in our own lives are written too.
Mack and I are always on the lookout for good stories. Recently, we both noted a compelling New York Times piece by David Brooks entitled "The Problem with Meaning." It said this: meaning is something you build into your life. You build it out of your own past, out of your affections and loyalties, out of the experience of humankind as it is passed on to you. You are the only one who can put them together into that unique pattern that will be your life. I certainly agree. But then Brooks went on to wonder whether meaningfulness may be in danger of becoming a kind of code for self-satisfaction from acts of charity. And I do worry about that. But I'm not worried about you. Because as Clinton School graduates, you bring something more noble to the table. The question you ask is not, are we feeling good, but are we doing good? That's the question at the heart of a meaningful life. We're on this earth to make a difference for someone else. That's the spirit that led you to apply to the Clinton School. And it's the spirit you'll take with you as you go. And I know it may seem daunting to leave this community, this nurturing environment where you've been surrounded by professors and peers who share your sense of purpose. But as you take this next step, you needn't be concerned about how you'll keep the spark of service alive. because you are the spark. You are 36 candles who will light 1,000 fires. You are 36 stars who will shine the way for all who see your glow. You are the ones who will teach us and guide us in building a better world. And we know this is true because one of the things you have helped build is the Clinton School itself. Yes, you are class number 9, but you have laid the groundwork for class 19, class 49, class 90. And because of you, we will see more progress for people around the world, for women's rights, for social justice, children's welfare, public health, environmental protection, economic development, good governance, and more, much, much more. And whether you stay in Arkansas or move across the country or around the globe, remember, everything you need to succeed rests in your own head, hands, and heart, creating the possibility of your unique solutions. So find the gaps that need filling, the unmet needs, and be the change you want to see. We can't wait to see what you'll do because you give us confidence, you give us hope, and you make us all very, very proud. Congratulations, class number 9.
And Donna and I wish you good luck and Godspeed in all that you do. Congratulations.
On behalf of the faculty, it is my honor to certify the candidates for the Master of Public Service. Will all candidates who are to receive the Master of Public Service degree please rise and remain standing. Dean Rutherford, I certify to you that those candidates who have completed all of their academic requirements are entitled to receive their degrees.
Now, by virtue of the authority vested by law in the Board of Trustees of the University of Arkansas System, I confer upon each of you the respective academic degree for which you have been recommended, with all the rights, privileges, responsibilities, and obligations appertaining thereunto. And I offer my sincere congratulations.
You may now take your tassel from the left to the right. Right to the left. This says left to right. It is now time for graduates to take the stage for presentation of their master's spoons.
Read or admire. Anna Applebaum.
Kent Jr. Broughton II. Kiana Michelle Brown. Paul Bradley Cameron. Matthew Cornelius Caston. Paola Cavallari. Benjamin Jerome Kramer. Ruby Annette de Santiago. Matthew Daniel Devlin. Christian Corden Eddings. Mattia Simone Fleischner. Haley Ray Fletcher. Danielle Brianne Folks. Troy Luke Frauenthal. Elaine Marie Fergon. Catherine Joan Grenier. Tatiana Riddle Hendricks. Tiffany Lynn Jacob. Tracy Lee Johnson. Julian J.F. Kelly. Stephen Bolton Kirshner. Andrew Lovely. Tato Masiri. Brandon LaCharles Matthews. Allison Meyer. Hunter Mullins. Kristen Elizabeth Rainey. Antoinette Nina Skiki. Leticia John A.M. Tokplo. Angela Edwina Toomer. Sylvia Tho Tran. Emily Ann Wheat. Searing Udon. Rebecca Rose Zimmerman.
Let's hear it for the class of 2015. Now, I want to thank everyone for being with us, and a special thanks to Donna and Matt McLarty for an outstanding commencement address. Let's hear it from McCarty. I kind of like these joint addresses. I thought that's pretty cool. Also, I want to thank those on the staff. The whole staff worked very hard on this graduation ceremony. It wasn't easy, particularly 3 days of activities at the school, but the person that's carried the heavy load is McLarty. At the conclusion of the program, we do hope you enjoy the ice cream in the lobby. You can take your vote on which one you like better, IBSB or Capstone Crunch. You can have both, but we hope you enjoy it. The Processional will be the Clinton School alma mater, written by David Watterson, class of 2011. I ask everyone in the auditorium to remain in the room until the stage participants and the graduates have proceeded out and left. For those who have not heard this alma mater before, when there is a pause, you may think it's over. It's not. Just wait and enjoy the next part. So just sit back, or actually you're going to be standing, and relax and watch it take place. I promise you, we do know what we're doing at this stage of the game. So now, would you please stand for the processional? This is David Watterson's "We Will Build the Bridge."